PJNet Live Monday night. It is a little after 9:30, and as we wait for Casper's take, we are going on the air. We are recording, we are streaming, and we will switch to Studio 6 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, good evening. Welcome to the second half of PJNet Live. Just to give you a heads up, we're still waiting on Casper Stockham from Colorado to connect, but I thought I'd take this opportunity to share some things with you, and I'll do that in just a moment. While I'm waiting, I'm actually switching to the live feed in the chat room because I want to specifically address some of the people in the chat room, which I will do momentarily. Give me a second, folks. Yep, there we go. Okay, we should be live in the PJNet chat room by now. For those of you who are in the PJNet chat room, that's at patriotjournalist.com. For those of you who are not, you're really missing out on a good time. Wanted to call attention to a couple of things. Some of you are seeing for the first time City on a Hill TV. That's Diana. And I wanted to say something very special about her part here at PJNet, because way back when, she has been with us and part of us and a major supporter. What we are doing today in so many ways would not be possible without her. Now, she's just a nice lady. If you ever get her on the telephone, be prepared to pray, because one of you, if not both of you, are going to pray. What a prayer warrior, what a champion for the children and our educational system. She is fighting the good fight in the state of Alabama. Let me just say, folks, I apologize that I could not be with you Friday night. We tore down the studio to do some renovations here in the Eagle's Nest. And what we were doing is, even though you can't see, there are two of those big studio type, we ever had your picture taken and they got those big box lighting things with a, anyway. Well, we got two of those. But they are actually controllable through a console. It's called DMX. It's the same console that will control the laser apparatus when we take this show on the road and have lasers and lights and spotlights and stuff, all this gear. Okay, and it's really kind of neat because I can literally slide these things down and slide them back up without getting up there and rotating a knob on the back of it. So. But to do that, the desk had to be improved, and Mike Wrinkle, that's Rinkel, Mike Wrinkle on Facebook, lives in the area. He goes to our church, and he is one of the finest craftsmen when it comes to woodworking that there is. The desk that sits in this studio is literally plywood on sawhorses, literally. These are not ordinary sawhorses. They can hold 1,300 pounds each of weight. They are collapsible. The V legs like that collapse like that, and they're hinged and they fold up into the body of the. Oh, it's really neat. Okay, now what I'm saying, folks, it's not hard to build a desk. A desk is a box. It's a rectangle. It's squares put together, rectangles put together. But making it such that you can build it without nails, without screws or bolts. Everything has to clamp together with a C-clamp. And it can be broken down into pieces and stored and transported flat. Folks, that's the challenge. Okay, so we got this new gear. And he literally... if the gear sits on the tabletop, you have to almost stand up to look over it, which I can't do. So what he did is put a surface that hinges up like that and locks in place so that I can literally reach all of the controls. Around me sits 9 monitors. 9. One audio and video mixer and one new piece of gear to control the lighting, which has like 14 little, well, actually 16 little sliders, and it will control. The specifications are beyond belief. Okay. We also got most of the new camera. We had to buy the camera from one place and the lens from another. They tried to deliver the lens today. Apparently, I didn't hear the UPS truck, and it requires a signature. So I will put a note on the door telling him to honk the horn or something, or come in the studio and enjoy. We also have a table that we built for the Keurig coffee machine. And the little refrigerator kind of tucks underneath there that holds the cold water. I store my creamer in there. And if you ever get a chance, make an appointment to come take a tour of the PJNet studio, referred to as the Eagle's Nest. It's 12 by 12. It doesn't take long to go through it. But we've got some humongous speakers. Anyway, you all are so good. Let me tell you some couple other things that are in the works. There's so much. In fact, Casper's still not with us, but if I take 20 minutes to just bring you up to date on what it all is going on at pjnet.tv, it's a cherished 20 minutes, so bear with me. Today, now let me try to explain. These sawhorses have a little, like a vise at the end of them, where you can literally set a 2x4 between two of the sawhorses. So now you not only have two sawhorses, you've got you can actually set a 4x4 in there. And this makes it a true tabletop, okay, where you can put plywood on it, and it's braced all the way across, so it doesn't sag in the middle. As we get older, things sag in the middle and bulge in the middle and things like that. So what I ordered today is a banner. This tabletop is exactly 60 inches wide. So I got this banner that is 60 inches by 2 feet. Now 2 feet comes up from the tabletop to the camera. Right there. And it's got our new PJNet.tv logo and our mission statement, providing a platform for everyday Christians to share their walk with Christ. So if you are at the North Carolina Christian Writers Conference in Liberty, North Carolina, you will see all this stuff, and I hope that you'll take a chance to come touch it and feel it and all that kind of stuff. It turns out I may be able to, if you are in Georgia, okay, I will be traveling through Georgia to get there. My daughter will be traveling separately, so I'll have an empty seat in my car. So if you would like to go to the North Carolina Christian Writers Conference and hitch a ride, you'll see just how packed that darn truck will get. When I get it all packed, I don't think you could put a pack of cigarettes in there. So the banner will be here before the conference. They make them in about 24 to 48 hours, but then they ship it, and it'll be next week sometime. We're also going to get some lapel pins now that we have this nice new logo, and we will have these at the conference and other appearances that we make in the public, so that people can, our team, if you'll just come see me, I will get you a pjnet.tv lapel pin to proudly adorn your attire, so that you can proudly proclaim that you are, in fact, a member of the PJNet team. Now, tomorrow night, we're booked, folks. We are so booked. We have no vacancies until the 13th of this month, and I think that one's filled. Tomorrow night is Ben Cooper. Now, Ben, let me get my facts straight here. Okay. Check this out, folks. First Monday, Doug Carter. First Tuesday, Ben Cooper. Now, if you haven't, do your homework. I'll tell you this in the promo tomorrow, but Ben Cooper has a blog, and he has an article on the red-tailed hawk, and how the spiritual, just, there's something about nature that declares God's majesty. Now, the title of his book is All Nature Sings. Now, he hadn't talked that much about his book. I haven't read his book, but if there's a book that I would probably be inclined to go out and get and read, That one fascinates me because he documents all of the animals mentioned in the Bible. And he goes into the binary nomenclature. That's the two-name word. Like, a spider is arachnid something. Humans are Homo sapien. I wonder if he mentioned humans as one of the animals. He might have left one out. But anyway, he's got an article, and the way he describes the characteristics of flight of that bird and how they're so smart to find updrafts and things. Folks, God is a great engineer, and it is hard for me to imagine that if you just remove the scales from your eyes and observe the engineering of this planet and the creatures herein, there has to be a God, and a loving one at that. I hope I left him something to talk about. Wednesday night, Barbara will alert me with who our guest is Wednesday night. We don't have a regularly scheduled guest on Wednesday night, monthly or weekly, at 9 o'clock. Now, tomorrow night, followed Ben Cooper. Of course, every week we have Del Didway, and he will be here at 9:30 Eastern or so. The first Thursday of every month is Ken Edwards. The second month, so we've got the first week hammered, okay? The second Monday is led off with Andy Clapp. And then, of course, Casper Stockham, who we're still waiting to connect. Or call or something. Second Tuesday, Jake McCandless. This will be his second appearance here. Second Wednesday, Lori Hayes. I think she was in our chat room. We're open, believe it or not, the second Thursday of the month. We're open the third Monday. But anyway, the third Wednesday is Becky Wednesday. So the first 2 weeks of the month, we have almost slammed. And what we'll do, once I haven't scheduled anything for Friday because the PJNet studio is not fully built out yet. And I need to have a Friday that I can tear this thing down and have Saturday and Sunday when things go wrong, like they did this past Friday. We tore this place down, and we tried about 3 or 4 different things that didn't work. We never fail. We just find a number of ways that don't work. So we were still tore. I didn't have internet access Friday night at all. Didn't have a monitor. Didn't have a PC, laptop. Nothing. Just nothing. So I kind of missed you guys, and I missed Steve Hazard's perspectives and comments, and maybe I think I can find his YouTube channel. I subscribe to it, but I subscribe to so many it's hard to figure it out anyway. Special welcome to Ben Cooper, who is here tonight. You'll see him live tomorrow night, as I mentioned. Canton Tweet, Gina, so good to have you with us. And City on a Hill TV, that is Diana. And Doug Carter is joined our chat. You just saw him just moments ago. And Hazards 4, who is our host on Friday night and the curator of My Perspective and Comments. Rachel Colby is here with us. She is, she's somewhere. She comes in all the time. We've seen her at least twice. And Sunbelt Girl, that's Barbara. She is my, her title is now assistant producer. Assistant producer. I guess she didn't like being called right-hand man all that time. And Tammy from Georgia, she is our Georgia Peach cheerleader. There are some other developments. I think I told you. I met with Mark Winchester, who has appeared on here long ago, a time or two. And his barn has been pretty well decked out. He's spent quite a bit of money, or invested quite a bit of money. And he wants to have a monthly worship service out there. And we're trying to figure out the best day and time to do that. But all of this stuff that we use here in the Eagle's Nest is engineered to be transported and used in events like that. So we will be doing that on a monthly basis, we believe. Now, we've got a projector. We hung the screen that we have is 10 feet wide, 6 feet high, something like that. But the trussing in this building, the roof truss, is elevated up about 20 feet. So it's like, how do you get the screen up there? because it's kind of big. Even though it collapses down to small, you can carry it in two hands. Really neat transportable projector screen. And so we're going to be getting some scaffolding. This scaffolding is basically in 6-foot sections. So you have 6 feet, you build that, then you stand up on it, then you build the next 6-foot section. When you get done, the floor of the top of that scaffolding is at 18 feet, and then it has a little banister around so you won't easily fall out. I'm sure you could. And I'm curious to know how that's going to play out, because we will probably use that to mount the screen wherever we go, up high, and then back it up and then put the projector on the scaffolding platform. The projector is called a short throw projector. The advantages of a short throw projector is that to pitch a 10-foot wide image, it only needs to be 6 feet from the screen. Now that's kind of neat, because in the screen, by the way, you can set the projector behind it or in front of it. That doesn't matter. But by being that close to the screen, it reduces the amount of lumens that is necessary to be bright on the image. So when you get a projector further and further away from the screen, it has to be brighter and brighter and brighter. So we've got that taken care of. Folks, as I look around me, it's quite a mess still here, but I look around, the camera's coming in, the remainder of it. We've got a gimbal that goes on that camera that will hold it stationary no matter how you do it. You will see this in action at the North Carolina Christian Writers Conference. We won't be carrying a tripod around and then setting up the tripod, leveling it up, taking our shot, then moving the tripod, setting it up on the other side of the room to get a different angle. We will be able to simply walk through with that gimbal and a stabilized image that it got. Now, we got another gimbal that's used for cell phones that does the same thing. These are motorized. They have motors, 3 motors, X, Y, and Z axis, and they literally hold that camera stationary even though you're walking and jittery and all that kind of stuff. We have new and better microphone gear, wireless microphone gear, to do the interviews at the North Carolina Christian Conference and elsewhere. It's a tandem arrangement. It literally has 2 of the pin-on what they call lavalier, but it's the clip-on mics, where we could literally do interviews with 2 people. You can go solo, like we do at the conferences, or we could literally do interviews. That opens up some new possibilities now, doesn't it? So, I could go on and on and on, but folks, I can tell you this. Every item that I have mentioned has been made possible by people like you. You say, well, no, I haven't done anything. Oh, yes, you have. Some of you have given generously. Some of you have given what you could. Some of you are saying, well, I never gave you any money to buy that stuff. Well, folks, that doesn't mean in any way that you're not part of this team and not a valuable part of this team. Let me tell you what happened today. Doug created a selfie promo video for his appearance tonight. Okay, and these are working very well. They promote interest in the show. I make a promo video, but of course I do. But when the other people make them, it gives credibility, it gives power, it gives richness to it. Well, folks, he put that out, and we have a little Facebook group, not Facebook, a Twitter group, where anytime there's a post that promotes the PJNet brand, we put it in there, and the team there piles on. Now, Doug had at last count 100 views on that video. Folks, when you participate in building up the team, building up the brand, the purpose of this brand is to proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ. The purpose of this brand is very simple. The mission statement I said earlier. We provide a platform for everyday Christians to share their walk with Christ. It's that simple. If you say, well, why? That's simple. Well, doing it isn't simple. It gets quite complex, actually, and somewhat expensive at times. But most importantly, I don't know that anybody else is doing this. I've had people that we've spoken to about this ministry that have piled on with their support, saying no one is doing what you're doing. Ordinary people, not theologians, not seminary graduate doctorates in divinity and premillennial dispensationalism and propitiation and things like that. No, just us. Folks, if ordinary Christians can't share the gospel of Jesus Christ, then we are falling short of the mandate prescribed to us in the Great Commission. So, well, folks, I do not know what happened tonight with respect to Casper, but he has been very faithful and very reliable, but I have been going on now for 20 minutes, but I wanted to make sure that each of you know just how much I appreciate what you do to help out with what we are all doing as we serve here in the kingdom of Christ. Now, my question is twofold. First, what is the boldest thing you have ever done for Jesus Christ? Number two, when was that? And the challenge is this: to never be satisfied with either answer.